Ms. Pilides, first of all, I would like to say to you that we're very happy and our sincere congratulations with the fact that Cyprus now has Deputy Ministry on Shipping, which is a long time needed, and that so dynamic woman like you was appointed as a Deputy Minister.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words. And we're also very excited to now be a Deputy Ministry. So that includes myself, obviously, as the Deputy Minister, but also my colleagues who are the ex-Department of Merchant Shipping employees who have enthusiastically joined forces as Deputy Ministry now to continue and to enhance, the work that was being done and the services that were being provided previously into, we hope, a shipping one-stop shop, which will be able to service our clients, the shipping companies that operate here, even better, even faster and more efficiently.
What will be the difference between the Department of Merchant Shipping and the Deputy Ministry? What is a major difference?
That's a very good question. Actually, the Department of Merchant Shipping was a department which was under the responsibility, as you know, of the Ministry of Transport. Because the Ministry of Transport had a lot of functions which worked, which had to do with it being a ministry, the Department of Merchant Shipping ended up being quite a technical department, which of course does the ports, the port state control, all our flag state obligations. We have a lot of excellent technical staff. We also have a lot of excellent staff with legal and financial background doing the tax related work, the legal related work, the ship registration. However, there are a few things that we lack as the Deputy Ministry, which we're now implementing. The first thing is that we need a policy department, and that is the big major difference, and the big major aim, obviously, is to have a holistic strategy and policy which will be implemented in a very regimented way within very specific framework timeline. So that's what we're trying to do. Beyond that, there are opportunities for restructuring within the department. For example, the promotion was being done by people who also have other things under their responsibility. We need to widen and broaden the employee base eventually, we hope, in order for people to be able to specialize, and we need to restructure in such a way where the departments are split in very clear lines of service which follow the strategy through. So we are looking at all those things with a very specialized committee, which includes experts from the private sector, and we're already formulating. We've sort of done our framework of priorities, which we hope to start to implement very soon. Some of them are underway already.
What is the future of shipping for Cyprus?
Well, I hope the future for shipping is a very bright one. Shipping has shown great resilience over the years. It's one of the sectors which has very steadily contributed 7% per year to the country's GDP. We've seen the tonnage of the ships that are under the Cyprus registry actually grow and expand in recent years, despite the global financial crisis and despite the shipping, the difficulties in the global shipping industry as well. And of course, in terms of the maritime cluster and the ancillary services, not just the ship management services, but also the shipping finance, shipping insurance, the bunkering, the logistical side, everything is growing. And so we've seen a great increase in companies under the tonnage tax system in recent years. And we hope to be able to maintain that. I think the importance for Cyprus shipping is to continue to provide a full spectrum of services and a full spectrum and to serve a full spectrum of companies within the shipping cluster. It's very important for shipping companies to be able to find everything they want in Cyprus, from qualified personnel, which we have plenty of, fortunately, to the quality of service that they're looking for in every type of service, and with value for money prices.
what do you feel? There are more companies that own ships, or there are more companies that manage ships in Cyprus? What is there?
Traditionally, I think even though we have a very large fleet, it's the 11th largest in the world. In terms of ship management, we've been, within the top 3 or at the very least top 5 ship management destinations or centres in the world. You can see the difference there. There are some challenges, obviously, regarding the flag, which we have managed to overcome fairly well, considering our performance in terms of our flag.
The major challenge is that the ships under Cyprus flag cannot go into Turkish ports.
Yes.
So if this challenge does not exist, we would have more ship owners.
Absolutely. I think that's the reason. That is actually the reason why the flag is somewhat less developed.
What other challenges that Cyprus shipping has, except of the flag?
I think the other challenges that shipping has in Cyprus are very similar to challenges that all shipping centres face. For example, keeping abreast with technology, whilst ensuring cybersecurity, whilst ensuring that there is good corporate governance in terms of the way things are done. I think that's a challenge for the whole shipping industry, and it's something that we as a deputy ministry also need to be aware of, not just to provide guidance, but also to make sure that our systems are also modern enough and quick enough and respond to our clients' needs.
What do you expect in the nearest future when it comes to technology, to systems?
Well, you're seeing everything from sort of self-driving vessels to very complicated systems in terms of the whole every single activity that a ship sort of does, or that a company does in terms of the management. So we're expecting it to develop very fast, but we're also, there are, I think, 2 things that come into it also. One is safety and security, which I mentioned earlier. Now, safety obviously also includes things like piracy, like protection, and in that respect we have very, very robust legislation as Cyprus, which was also quite innovative at the time that it was introduced. We need to maintain that, we need to build on that. In terms of, and then the second factor I wanted to mention is the reduction of pollution, which is also very important. So in the future, what I expect to see is technologies which will reduce pollution. Recently, the IMO, as you may know, at MEPC 72, introduced some very ambitious, but we believe realistic goals in terms of the pollution reduction. And we hope we will certainly support them and hope that they will, of course, become a reality. And we hope that more such initiatives will follow, so that shipping becomes as green as possible, as well as being blue. And
what to expect in 2018? I think that first of all you will need to have some time to meet business owners and to meet the players on the market to understand what are their worries and what are their hopes.
Of course, I mean, we have a range of meetings which we are setting up to meet with all the companies that are based here. Fortunately, I do know a lot of them from also my previous profession. So that part is very pleasant and very easily achieved. The important part, as you correctly note, is to listen and to actually take note of the changes and the challenges that the companies are facing.
And to see new opportunities, because the world is changing so fast that Cyprus may find opportunities where we didn't think they exist.
Absolutely. I think it's very useful that we have a committee which meets every, say, 3 weeks, which includes the representatives of the private companies as well, because they are very proactive in bringing to our attention all the issues and actually taking action on all the various issues identified. However, I do agree with you that having client contact personally with you know, every single company is also very important, and that's why we need to do this exercise separately of going to see the companies and discussing with them, being in touch with them, so that they also feel that they have, you know, that we have an open door policy and they can come and talk to us about anything that is, you know, any opportunity, as you say, but also any challenge.
Thank you very much for this interview. And the last question I have is just 1 or 2 or 3 steps you're planning to do in the nearest future.
Of course. So we've already gone out on a tender for our rebranding. That's a really exciting
Rebranding,
thing.
what it means?
So we want to brand Cyprus shipping as as effectively as possible. I think that there's a lot that we can do to convey the competitive advantages that we have in a more proactive way. So the rebranding is one thing. We've also done a very I think quite a good plan of trips for promotional events, but also in terms of making our voice heard at international fora. And those things are all very exciting in terms of, you know, putting Cyprus shipping not on the map, because it's already on the map, but making it something that everyone is aware of, even people who are not necessarily involved in shipping or people who haven't so far thought about Cyprus as an option. I think opportunities in Asia are particularly important. Nowadays we're thinking about opening an office in Asia. I should mention we already have 5 offices in other
I did not know there's 5
in other
offices
countries.
in which country?
Yes, so we have an office in Brussels, obviously. We have an office in London, one in Piraeus in Greece. We have Hamburg, which I will be visiting in a week or so, and we also have New York. So we're thinking about adding Hong Kong or Singapore to the list. Of course, it will take some time to do all the reconnaissance work that we need in order to set it up. And the big thing that's happening now is also the restructuring of the department into a deputy ministry to make sure that it can undertake all the added all the added activities that we will have to do.
So I wish you all the success and
Thank you so much.
In 1 year we can see first results.
Yes, of course, yes, and I hope we will be in touch to discuss what's been achieved.
Sure.
Wonderful, thank you.